So I've got more gas now, so we're going to weld this bar in, the other bars, we're going to put in all the bars that we've got. And then we're going to cut some more bars and fit those bars, and then we're just going to have bars everywhere. So just enjoy it, please. This bar actually bends out the side, and I want it to be the same on both sides. So I've got my big sheet square sitting in against the inside. I'm just going to put a mark on the bottom where it lines up with the chassis rail. Turn the square around, and that will let me line up the other bar so it'll be identical shape to this, which is important. So we'll take the other bar in, get it in the right position and weld it. Yep, that's starting to look like something. We've got this far. Now, it's mostly welded out to this point. I've still got to put some bar work in the front here, but that all depends on the steering. So this piece in here, now this steering is basically like the head stem on a push bike. So all I'm going to do is cut out the bracing that's holding it, bend this back, and then re-weld it and see how we go. At a future date, this whole section is getting cut out and building a full fabricated front end. But for now, we're keeping this because it's free, but it does need to be customized. So, cut. Alright, that's how we cut it needs to be. Let's end the features. This is my Alright, that all seems to work pretty good there now. Still turning freely. I've just got to put a plate in on each side here, just to give that all its strength back, and then put in the steering column. So I've been going through a few different options of parts, and I think what I'm going to do is use this stub, which is left over from the Cubman build. It was originally had a flange on the end for a steering wheel, but it's got a spline. That spline go into this uni joint, and there'll be more brackets and stuff, but for now we're just going to weld this on. So that little funny bracket that I made out of a piece of 75 by 50 RHS, well, that's going to be welded onto this. Now this is just a go-kart steering column that's got a uni joint, and I've put a piece of the same 22mm tube that the rest of the chassis has been built out of over that. Fits nicely, and then I've welded the steering wheel on the end. Now, that bracket that I just made, it's going to be fitted on the end here. The two bolt holes line up with the center of the uni joint. So then that way, that makes a pivot point that the steering column can pivot on. So I'll just weld that to there, and then we'll mount it up to the vehicle. So that goes in there, and it's got clearance for this. The bolt holes line up with the center of the uni joint, so that's going to be a pivot point for the steering column. It will be necessary. So, a few welds and we'll move on to the next bit. Excellent. So, that bit goes on there like that. And this now needs a mounting point somewhere to the chassis. So we've got another bar. It's going to come in here, right there, welded on both sides, and then there'll be some brackets come off here onto the steering column. And at the same time, I've got another bar that will probably go across the top here, and that will form the rest of the frame on the front for the bodywork to mount to. Getting tiggy time. That works pretty good. So this is the rear trailing arm off the Gopher where the motor and axle bolted on. Now I need the motor out about 100 to 150 mil further out, so this is not going to be any use. So we can go. What we're doing instead is I've got this 25-25 by 2 RHS, which is basically exactly the same as what the other one was made out of. Now, it's just this shape, so that the motor can bolt on anywhere out here, and this gives it a bit more strength. There will be some pieces of angle come through here for a shock absorber to bolt onto, because this is going to be supporting the weight of all the batteries hanging at the back as well. So we'll get this welded up, and hopefully soon this thing will be rolling. So we've got a roller. Now, things that need doing is the rear suspension, the battery trays that are in the back, yeah, a floor would be good, and some seat mounts. The throttle is going to be mounted onto the steering wheel, I think, so it'll be a thumb throttle, and You may be wondering about why I went to the effort of having this tilt steering in there. It's because when the seat's in here and the steering wheel is down in position, it would be really difficult for any body to actually get in this thing, no matter how small the driver is. So, steering comes up out of the way, they climb in, put on the seat belts, and then they can pull the steering wheel down so they can drive it. But also, with a thumb throttle, I will be able to stand on the side of it so I can move it in and out of the shed. Because, well, I don't think I'm really going to fit in this thing. But we could try. Oh, that's gonna work. That's over that way. Oh, actually. Almost. Almost. Alright. Yep. This would not be any fun for me. So, as I said, next video on this will be the rear suspension and battery trays, floor, seat mounts, and then the little fella can have a go at driving it. But, well, before all that happens, I've got to try and get out of this thing. So, I think that's it for this video. And as always, customize everything. Wifey, can you come and help? Yeah, I'm kind of stuck.